On one hand, I'm watching freedom and democracy fall into the fucking waste bin, while simultaneously realizing that the devil is slowly unearthing itself for the world to see.
And who is the devil in this case?
Queen Rat herself, Brittany Angel.
Eh? It's Marshall.
Same shit.
Isn't she DOJ?
Both.
Well, which is it?
There is no which is. It's both.
Wasn't a way that was possible.
Wasn't she a justice?
She still is.
Let me get this straight. You telling me she's a justice, a marshal, and the DOJ?
Correct.
Valentino, I think we're working for the wrong people, amigo.
Seems that way.
You told me you didn't know this. The person who alters the law on a whim, arrests on a whim, judges on a whim is all one and the same?
I had no idea the layers in which it was involved. No.
Oh.
I'm more impressed than anything, Senor Chavez.
About a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I contacted my chief of police after there was complaints about lack of helicopter licenses. Price of helicopters had gone down from $15 million down to 1.8. Naturally, people noticed, began to pick them up. And they go, oh yeah, Nino passed that law. Well, the thing is, it was all pending on a different department that's been sitting on their fucking ass from issuing the certifications necessary. And now I'm sitting here with my fucking cock in my hand, trying to figure out how the fuck we're going to be able to move forward, because now we went from, having what would have been 2 months of time to implement all this to about a week. Luckily, a man moves quick, and that shit's in motion. But to prevent such a thing, I went to the chief and I said, listen, these little certifications that Blaine County Sheriff's Office is coveting and effectively gatekeeping, you're going to go do your own. And you need to do this, because now I'm getting a headache, and you can't even fucking run autonomously. You observe about 90% of this island's population. You cannot let those things be in the control of anyone else. Well, I get a text message that says, stop interfering with LSPD High Command. I tell her, eat my fucking dick. Why? I'm the goddamn mayor. If I can't govern my county and work with my chief of police, you gotta be on some kind of bullshit. Day goes by. Oh, let me give you another little tidbit. This was the day after marshals came into the LSPD meeting and dictated incorrectly how individuals should be arrested. Now, Brandon, you've done some work for me in the past, right?
Yeah.
I tell you to take care of someone. How many steps is that usually?
And not too much, to be honest.
But guess, how many steps to do it right?
To do all right, let's see. You tell me to take care of somebody for you. I say, okay. First step would be finding the secure location that I want to do it at. Second step would be figuring out when I could catch him lacking. Third step would be doing the fucking deed. Fourth step would be disposing of all things, involved. Fifth step would be maybe grabbing a payphone and saying he's good.
And now imagine some 2-bit came through and told you, you know what? Just do step 1 and 6.
It wouldn't work out very well, you know?
Yeah. Well, that's effectively what the marshals came in and started telling the cops to do. So I brought it up and I said, hey, start doing that. These guys are going to start illegally arresting motherfuckers. Fuck's wrong with you? Well, if you see something wrong, bring it up to the high command. Overall, there was a new update to the law, giving the marshals ultimate authority over all law enforcement agencies. Hiring, firing, changing of SOPs, you fucking name it. And if you're wondering, how does that affect you? Well, all of a sudden, what you expect of Pred and what you expect of me and our respective counties and departments, none of that matters. Because an unelected official now starts to make those calls. You think there's over-policing? You think there's over-aggression? You think there's rights violations? Doesn't matter. The state decides. Now it gets worse. Last 4 months, somewhere up to about 50 edits were made, unbeknownst to anybody, until recently. The legislation would just change without notice. Martial legislation was one of them. Slowly, DOJ taking more power, specifically Miss Brittany Angel, in order for her vision of San Andreas to be the only one that was important. Well, it got worse. Or you heard what happened to Pred, or like some semblance of it.
Yeah.
Something happened to me too, and I can tell you this,
Hear
Brandon.
about that.
Well, I haven't done shit, and I can promise you up and down about that. Right? Maybe a little bit here and there, but nothing serious. I have no reason to get my hands dirty. Right? Had plenty of that in my life.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, I'm the criminal mayor. Something off about me. I mean, you tell me, Brandon, how many times did I get caught doing what I did?
I don't remember a single fucking time. Not a one.
So where those whispers coming from, I don't fucking know. Maybe it's the way I talk. Maybe it's because I am more threatening to them than a man with a gun. Because I threaten them by changing the way things work. Defending people. People that, when arrested, get those people paid. Understand what I'm saying?
And when you go against the status quo, they feel threatened and they feel like they got to take you out.
The pen is mightier than the sword, senor, and you know how to wield the pen. It is more dangerous than 100 pendejos with guns.
I went and had a 5-minute meeting with an officer about some nasty shit that's been going on. And turns out some marshals had followed us there, this meeting location. So I went down to the station and I said, I want a fucking FOIA report about that incident. What was the crime? What was the reason? Are you trying to harass me, intimidate me? Right? What is the purpose of this? Where is that taxpayer money going? And why is it being wasted following me the fuck around for what? Little did they know right now that that was a privileged conversation, attorney-client. They don't need to know that. They shouldn't have to know that because they shouldn't be snooping unless there's a reason to do. Turns out they had a fucking drone being utilized.
Fucking drone.
Over what? Fucking thought crimes. Let's go see what he's doing. Now,
When did this incident take place, senor?
about 3 days ago. And with that being said, that made me realize, what the fuck else have these guys been doing? So, I drafted a document and requested FOIAs for every incident I am involved in the last 4 months. Because I have the right to know what the fuck they've been up to in regards to me. They immediately denied it, saying it was too vague. But I can tell you right now, when I was a lawyer, you fucking name it, the amount of times I've gotten clients like 3 months worth of documents from a client, I get it like that day. wasn't a problem. But now all of a sudden, the people that believe themselves to be above everybody, you're telling me they can't produce these documents because it's too difficult? Fuck out of here. This is where it gets worse. The time of request to the time of notice before it expired, they updated this the Freedom of Information Act. In order for you, Brandon, or anybody else, for that matter, if you need to find out something related to you, you need to know which of the 3 departments is responsible for the report. You need to know enough of the details so that you can help them find it. Mind you, information that you're not going to just magically have.
Of course.
And then for each and every document, they're now charging $3,000. Now, they did this the moment we fucking FOIA'd our shit. This is the bullshit we're up against.
Wait. You're telling me statutes were passed after your request?
Correct.
My question is, if it's Freedom of Information Act, what is the reason other than your own curiosity matter? So you don't have the right to know regardless.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because alongside each and every request for each and every document you request and the money attached to it, you need to tell them why you want it.
Get the fuck out of here.
I swear to fucking God. They put it in about 5 hours ago.
Okay, so put the why in. What's the problem?
Wait, what's the what? What did you say?
Then put the why in when asked.
It's a part of legislation. You can't. You got to give them the why.
See?
And
So
here's
what's
the
why?
thing. They need to... Oh, no, not the letter. You need to explain the reason as to why you need it.
So basically, you're just foregoing too much information when they don't even want to give them that fucking information.
Exactly. There it is.
So
Hey.
if you have something that you think that you can get out of, right, and you request the information, you have to sit there and tell them why you want that fucking document.
Yeah. What the fuck, the judges now? The fuck? Like, imagine this, you know? Hey, I need a FOIA for, I don't know. It's some fucking horse shit. Now, you might be wondering why I'm bringing this all up, because this is all rather relevant to what we're about to discuss.
Okay.
This is not the first documented case where Justice Angel and a band of minions have done such a thing. And I don't mean specifically to me or Pred, but this sort of thing has been happening within the police department for some time. Where, if you're not aware, we had a recent incident where someone in the ADMC was killed, murdered. And the murderer was brought into interrogation. And the cop said, there's no lawyers currently in the yellow pages. Therefore, you have to talk to me without a lawyer. He was subsequently fired. But that would not have been known had it not been for Chief of Police Daisy, who actually has a semblance of justice. And she would not have known had he not unintentionally disclosed the information. All of it was written in a private report that no one can see. Next, Tilly Winters, ex-receptionist, now on my staff, cell phone looked through. Turns out, after 4 months of waiting, she wins a court case, gets a measly $100,000. We then find out that this cop that was fired as a side effect was able to hide all his charges and misconduct a week later because a second in command in the marshals said, not that big of a deal. Someone who went through someone's phone illegally. You tell me, Brandon. Cop comes up to you, grabs your phone, looks through all the history of it. Is that a slap on a fucking wrist?
Nah. That's pretty fucked up. Seems like he's hand-holding the marshal's pocket so he can get away with whatever the fuck he wants.
What do you know about these cargo ships?
I know they're gang. I know motherfuckers go after them left, right, and center. I know that you brought him in, right?
I mean, somewhat. I arranged some of it, but not exactly the way I expected it to go. You know, I asked for some goods. Some folks started trying to bring it over, and the way the contracts were sort of chopped up, you know, they have to deliver, you know, they're going to keep on trying, but everyone's going to keep on trying to bust into them. You know what I mean?
I can
fucking
tell you,
shoes, Nikes, but, you know, go ahead.
I can tell you this. There's no friends there. It's cutthroat. It's very vicious.
Look,
And everybody who's everybody goes.
Look, Brandon, I'm going to be honest with you. I joke about that, all right? I don't have too much involvement with that shit. It's mostly Merriweather and a series of international traders, of which I don't know too much about. But the reason I bring up that cargo ship is, do you ever wonder why why like twice a day it comes by, people come on there, bust it up, take a bunch of shit, yet they keep on coming by day in and day out? Why is that? How is that?
I don't know. You would think after, they get ripped off one time, they would, see to stop coming around or hiding their security or some shit.
You have a question why the military hasn't gotten involved in something like that?
No.
I got contacted by someone last night. He had some very interesting things to say. Some things that line up with that conversation that we had a couple days back over at the horse track. And after explaining some things to me, specifically how there's a series of documents that consistently get archived over at the FIB building.
I sorry, repeat that. A system of documents that get archived.
Reports, etc. Apparently they get
The
archived
FIB building, you say?
at the FIB building.
See,
Well, not so much I say, but what I'm relaying. The truth of it is, bear in mind, I don't know this guy too well, right? He might be blowing smoke up my ass, but he had some very interesting things to say that kind of piqued my interest. He wasn't the kind of guy that, like a random bozo coming up with some kind of tinfoil hat theory. You know, what he said makes sense. Specifically, how this island has slowly become a customer of sorts, a gear in someone's bigger master plan. And I'm not talking about the marshals in this case, right? They too are a part of the cog. Or rather, a bunch of us, you, me, everybody in Polito, everyone on this island, we're just a poor souls trapped in a economy that's in constant inflation, food's hard to come by, rights violations left, right, and center, and just endless fucking crime. But for some reason, these Mayweather fucks continue to drive through almost as if to give that equipment to people on this state to shoot each other up, as well as law enforcement.
Or to arm them.
Or to arm them.
In
Arm the
preparation
militia.
for something.
Same individuals that arm law enforcement. And why is intervention not found its way over? Why has the goddamn president not said, you know what, enough is enough? And so as he continued to tell me about these things, now don't get me wrong, some of this is like, you know, I get go get high on some fucking weed. I might come up with some of these theories, but there's something about him that made me say, you know what, maybe this guy has something and knows something that is perhaps worth listening to, and he's looking for some individuals that may be interested in a little bit of work. And quite frankly, after our conversation down at the horse track, I thought of you two. Now, to be transparent, I asked him, how do I trust him? He asked me the same question back. And the reality is, I'm a very curious individual, and I have a feeling you two are pretty curious yourself as well.
Naturally.
Now, if you are so interested, I can connect you to this guy. However, and I say this with a massive cautious sign, Brandon, I do not know if I can trust him. He can and could be a fucking Looney Tune. He may very much, he could have very much put up a very good act. But and this could be dangerous. I don't know what to expect, but you know, it may be worth listening to him.
Have you met this man before, or was that your first interaction with him?
First interaction. But he did leave an impression, and that's really all it is. And I think based on the impression y'all get with him, whatever your feeling is after that, you know, leave it at that. Think it smells bad? Leave it. If it seems interesting, you know, however you choose to run with it. I get nothing.
Did he mention who he working for or who he represent?
He did not. He references himself as how did he describe himself? He described himself as the way he described himself was as follows. He was inside the operating room where Justice Angel laid flat, and he had the opportunity to enter right then and there. And while that was something that he had considered doing, he realized he didn't want to get rid of the enemy that he knew, knowing full well that she would just be replaced by yet another, but the bigger cog will keep on spinning. And he said, and he's seen what I'd been doing, and that some of the information that he was willing to give me and to those I put up to the task, that some of that information would shed some light on what exactly is happening. I think he presented himself kind of as like a man of the people type shit. You know what I mean? Like the fucking Neo or something like that, but with less sci-fi.
Do you know or have any idea of the nature of the service that this man will be requesting?
I asked him that question very particularly, and he said it is more intelligence gathering in nature rather than consisting of shooting and blasting. This is more listening, observing, and disseminating information. Now,
And you are convinced it's not a setup?
I am not convinced of that.
So this may be a scheme cooked up by that tyrant? Senor, I find it very curious that with all the power that this one is wielding, with everything on their plate, they still so interested in you that they are following you around with drones. Someone is that committed to looking for something about you. This may be a ploy to entrap you. All the same, we are still interested.
I did consider that, but I highly doubt it. I think the manner by which we met, the way, I mean, I'll tell you exactly how I met him. He went out of his way to call me through a payphone, after which I was given a SIM card, after which a payphone call was made 2 days later to check said SIM card, which gave me a location at which he awaited me. The police department is way too fucking stupid to do a quarter of those things.
This guy give you a name?
No. He's got a alias of sorts. Like I said, it's something you'd have to smell out for yourself as well.
And the alias you are unwilling to reveal currently.
I can tell you. He referred to himself as the Whisper.
The Whisper.
When can we expect to meet this pendejo for ourselves?
You tell me what, how does tomorrow sound?
Before Wednesday would be preferable.
Let's do it tomorrow evening. Now, my recommendation in all this is I join you in that next conversation. I remain quiet. My reason for that is quite simple. I want you to make your own observations and your own assessment. After that, confer with yourselves, and then I'll give you my opinions after you give yours, so that I don't influence your takeaway.
Will you be in disguise?
I don't hide.
I can respect that. Depending on how this meeting goes, the following evening, we may have something to reveal to you, which can be an ace in the sleeve to crush your enemy.
All right. Beautiful. I'll get in contact with him, and I'll be in touch. When you get a chance, do take a look at that legislation change. I think it's going to blow your mind how much has been taken away from us at a drop of a hat.
Senor, all of these things reveal to me that they see you as a proper foe, and a good enemy is always better than a bad friend. I will take it as a compliment to you that they have gone to such lengths. All the same, we will review the legislation with our own eyes. And tomorrow we will expect your call, and we will be ready.
All right. I'll take care.
Have a good night, Nino.